I decided to start posting on Instagram, and in just 1 month, I gained 10,000 followers. And to prove it wasn't luck, I did it again. Hello, it's Evelyn, aka Milklard, and I've now grown 2 separate Instagram accounts to 10,000 followers in 1 month. And if you want to do the same, I'm going to show you exactly what to do. Like I said, my growth wasn't just luck. When I decided that I wanted to start growing my Instagram account, I came up with a plan to get me there. I'm going to show you the steps I take in order to grow my Instagram account so quickly. Before we even worry about making an Instagram account and what kind of things we need to be posting, let's take a step back and think about why it is we even want to start posting in the first place. I want you to take some time to journal out a couple things. I want you to think about the ideal version of yourself in a couple years. What kind of things is that person posting? What is their brand? What are they known for? Second question, why is it that you want a following? Are you trying to gain a following so that you can have more liberty of your schedule? Are you doing it for certain opportunities, like to work with a specific brand? Or are you trying to sell something or promote something? Once you have an understanding of what your brand is and why it is you want followers, it becomes very clear what kind of content you need to be making. When I first started doing research on how to grow on social media, everyone told me that I needed to find a niche. That the more niche my niche was, the better. But I actually want to de-influence you on this idea just a bit. Now, it is true that there should be some consistency throughout your posts, but I actually think niching down too much will backfire on your growth. If you stick too much to a niche, you actually cap the amount of people you can reach. So your account can only ever grow to as big as that niche is. You can only ever create content that is targeted towards that niche, and anytime you post anything that's unrelated to a very specific niche, it's going to be received negatively. Also, feeling like you have to pick a specific niche to start off just adds extra unnecessary pressure when starting to post can already be pretty anxiety inducing. In my opinion, niching down just isn't necessary, but like I said, there should be some consistency between your posts. Instead of coming up with a niche, it's a lot better to come up with content pillars. Think of content pillars as video formats that you can come back to time and time again. Let's use my fitness Instagram as an example of what content pillars could look like. If you were to follow my fitness Instagram account, some videos you can expect to see are what I eat in a day, workout routines, gym outfits of the day, and some flex videos. Because I don't stick to just nutrition videos or just workout routines, I'm now able to reach a much larger audience. And because I have these content pillars that I know that I can always come back to, I don't stress myself over coming up with video ideas, allowing me to just focus on making the videos. But for right now, that's enough about content pillars. A little later in the video, we will continue talking about content pillars and how you can come up with your own content pillars. So now that you have an idea of what your brand is, we can now make our Instagram account. I highly recommend starting a fresh new account that you plan to grow instead of using your current personal account as the Instagram you want to grow. This might help remove a lot of the anxiety you might be feeling towards posting. Now, when creating your account, there's a couple things I want you to put some extra thought into. First and most importantly is your username. It's best to pick a username that can relate to what your content is about. For example, my lifting account is Milklard Lifting, and my main account that's just about me is my nickname, Milklard. Now, when picking out your username, there's a couple things you want to avoid. First off is any symbols like underscores or periods. I also want you to avoid using numbers and misspelling words. You want your name to be easy to remember. So what's easier to remember? The username cat lover or cat with a K underscore lover 257. Just try your best to simplify the name. Next, we're going to choose our profile picture. Now remember, your profile picture is usually going to be seen in small little pictures, so try and pick out a photo that doesn't look messy. When I picked my profile picture, I picked a picture that clearly shows my face and also has a clear background that stands out even if the pixels are small. We're now going to work on our bio. Instagram only gives you a couple lines, so make sure that you are using these lines wisely. So try and avoid any unnecessary quotes or stuff that just doesn't help to grow your Instagram account. I use one of the lines in my bio to briefly talk about my brand or talk about what value I'm bringing to that account. So the reason I want followers is to be able to grow my training business. So in my bio, I let it be known that I am a NASM certified trainer and that I offer one-on-one training. Another thing I could have done in my bio is talk about the value my content will bring. So it could be nutrition, mobility, workout routines, whatever value my content brings, I can give a little brief description in my bio. Another thing I want you to add to your bio is your work email. Now, Instagram mobile does have an option to add your email, and it will show up on mobile, but this does not show up on desktop, so it's really important to make sure that your email is also in your bio. And in the last line of your bio, I want it to be a call to action and link something important. Now, if you don't have anything you really care to link, you can always just link another one of your social media accounts. Let's say I had a training course that's on a separate website. What I would do is link the website, and then in the last line of the bio, I would say, train with me, and then I do little arrows to point down to the link. This way, it's a lot more likely that someone's going to be clicking on my training website and even be aware that I have a training website. So now that you've created your account, let's talk a little bit more about the content creation process. Although using popular audios and following trends can boost your Instagram account, we're not going to rely on trends in order to grow our account. Instead, we'll focus our energy into creating quality content that our followers can enjoy. Being able to post consistently is going to be the #1 thing that contributes to us growing, because we want to make sure that we stay in the algorithm. If you're seeing slow growth in the beginning, don't be discouraged, because it does take the algorithm a bit to understand who your target audience is. If you're super serious about growing your Instagram account, I'd say post at least 4 carousels or reels a week. But how can we create consistently good content? When it comes to the production of videos, you obviously want to make sure that your visuals and audio are good. A way that we can ensure that our visuals are at least decent is we can just make sure that the video is not blurry, we can color grade, and also crop the video so that it's always centered. Even if the content of your video is good, if the quality and visuals are just ugly, people are just gonna scroll past it. And also, if you're posting a video and the first few seconds are very boring, it's more likely that someone's just gonna scroll past that video. Being able to get the attention of your audience in the first few seconds is called a hook. Now, making hooks and having higher quality content is still something that I'm learning, so maybe down the line I'll make a more in-depth video on how to make better quality content. Now, I know I already talked about having a brand and why it is you even want a following, but it's also very important to think about what you are going to be bringing to that following. You can't expect someone to follow you simply because it's you. Give your audience a reason to show you support. If you can bring value to them, they're going to bring value to you. Now, what does value look like through content? Content that has value is either educational, emotional, or entertaining. Educational content is pretty straightforward. It's just content that serves to educate. For example, this video would be under educational. Now, emotional content can either be videos that are relatable, inspirational, or just content that makes you happy or sad, like those dogs being reunited with their owners after like a long period of time. Content that's entertaining would either be like comedy or videos that are like visually appealing. In this category, I would also put music and any fashion related stuff. Now, I forgot who I heard this from, but they called this the 30% rule. What the rule says is that you can reach 30% of an audience by making educational content, 30% by making entertaining content, and 30% by making emotional content. So if you can figure out how to target 90% of an audience, you can now reach a lot more people and grow a lot quicker. Now, you don't have to stress about reaching 90% of the audience every single time you post. Instead, you can reach 90% of the audience with your account as a whole. So a way we can target 90% of the audience through our content is one day we can focus on making educational content, the next would be entertaining, and the next would be emotional. So let's say I'm trying to grow a fitness account. How can I make my content pillars with this rule in mind? Now, let's say once a week I explain how to properly perform an exercise. And then the next day I try and be inspirational, and I'll show a transition video of where my journey started and where I'm currently at. And then the next day I would try and create entertaining content by making a very aesthetically pleasing workout video where I focus a lot more on the angles, the color grading, and editing of a video. So now with just these 3 content pillars, I'm actually able to grow super quickly because I'm not sticking to one specific thing, and I'm able to reach a much larger audience. Before we can hit post though, let's take a look at a couple things. In your caption, I want to make sure that there's some type of call to action. The more engagement you can get on your post, the more Instagram is going to push out your video. Next off, this is really important. I want to make sure that you are using hashtags on your videos. How is the algorithm going to know who to send your post to if you don't tell the algorithm what your post is even about? Instagram allows you to do 30 hashtags, so make sure you take advantage of this. And if you don't know what hashtags to do, you can check out videos of like content creators in a similar field as you and see what hashtags they're using. Do not overstress the whole hashtag things. Just use the ones that relate to your content and make sure you're using them. Now, the last thing you need to worry about is your cover photo. It's important to think about what your post is going to look like on your feed, because to some extent, your feed should be aesthetically pleasing. If someone were to come across your page, it's a lot less likely that they're going to follow you if you have a really ugly, messy feed. If you're posting a reel, you actually have full control of what that cover photo is going to look like. Instagram also allows you to crop out the part you want to show up on your feed. Now, let's say you post a reel and you don't like how it looks on your feed. You can always hide it from your profile grid. If you do choose to remove it from your profile grid, the video is still posted and it's still going to be reaching a new audience. It just won't show up on your feed. And if you end up changing your mind, you can always add it back to your feed. Now, if you're posting a carousel, you just need to make sure that the first photo on the slide is the one that you want showing up on your feed. I shared all the info there is to get started, and now all you have to do is start posting. And please don't overstress just starting a post. Just get into the habit of posting. Later on, you can focus more on quality and perfecting the video. In the beginning, don't worry about perfection, just get into the habit. I really hope that the information I shared in this video could help you get started on your posting journey. If it did, I'd really appreciate it if you could leave a big ol' like on this video and also sub to see more videos like this. If you've been struggling to grow your Instagram account, let me know in the comments what obstacles you have faced. And if you have any questions that I didn't answer in this video, let me know in the comments and I'll try my best to answer. And if you want to help me grow my Instagram account, I'm going to be linking in the description both my main and my fitness Instagram account. And if you want to see more of me being me, I do have a second YouTube channel. All of my social medias are going to be linked in the description. I want to give you a huge thanks for watching this video. I really do appreciate you spending this time with me. I'll see you next time. Bye bye!